Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showcasing a 1v1 build order for the Dutch. Now, with the Dutch, I'm going to show you my deck. I have a lot of decks, including Meme Magic. It's a lot of fun, but the main one I'm going to be focusing on is this 1v1 deck. Now, a lot of times, players will include in Age 1 the Bank of Amsterdam and Rotterdam, which includes your settler limit by 5 and adds 1 to your bank limit. However, I don't think these are particularly... I mean, you need a lot of deck space for your other cards, and these take up some. And the return you get in the late game, because you send them late game, and then they take time to pay off, and in the late game, you're going to be sending your Age 3 and Age 4 shipments, so the XP toll is way too high, I think. This is a necessary card. Your town center does extra 50% damage, so you can do 135 damage with 10 villagers in the TC. Got some pretty standard wood crates, and the advanced arsenal, I've been using that a lot more lately. I think it's really good because you get your flintlock upgrades, your other damage boosts for your gunpowder infantry, and the military drummers, so you get 4.4 movement speed. The church card, if you do need those extra 2 banks, can come from here. You can also ship Stratiots and 30 musketeers. So it's really nice to have this in case you do need that extra bump to your economy, or you need some unit switches real quick to heavy infantry and some Stratiots. And then I don't know how I feel about the Bosniaks. I used them a lot when they had the upgrade to their promotions, but now that they've lost that, I'm not quite sure how I feel. I still like it because it's a nice cav switch. You mix it in with some hussars, and you can definitely catch people off guard. Swiss Pikes, I think, is a fantastic card because with your main composition of Skirm Reuter, you don't really have as much siege, and this also helps kind of protect your Skirms from any heavy cav if your Reuters end up dying, and they're just really good for covering and sieging down buildings. The fort I like to do, and aging up with the fort to 4 is also nice because you're the Dutch and turtling is huge, and this protects you very nicely. I've won a lot of games by shipping a fort into my base, and the enemy pushes in, and then I ship 2 heavy cannons. So, pretty simple. Not necessarily standard, but I think this is a solid overall deck. Now, some variations to the land deck. The water play is viable. I don't like sending schooners. I mean, personally, I think 70 wood is pretty cheap as is. I'm used to playing Legacy, where boats used to cost 100 wood, so, I mean, to me, schooners is already in place. But anti-water is good. I like to send 3 Floyds and 2 Caravels if the opponent is water booming. Let's get rid of the Bosniaks and replace that with Swiss Pikes. More important. And then everything else is the same. Something that is important to note, if you're facing a Spanish player who is going to FF into you with Falconets, probably the hardest matchup, one of them at least, for Spain, or the Dutch, or the Spanish, 700 gold. You want to put up maybe 2 banks. You definitely want 1 in Age 1, and if you can, get the second one. But you definitely need to send 700 coin, because when they're pushing in, you're not going to have much of a response to Falconets, and you want to make sure in transition, instead of having your stable go down, you're going to put an artillery foundry down. In the review that I'm about to show you, I build a barracks and then in transition a stable, but in this case, you're going to want to swap that. And then your first shipment will still be 9 Reuters in the 3rd age. So you have Skirms, you'll have Reuters, and then you'll get some Culverins, or your own Falconets. I like Culves because I think they're just easier to micro, and you don't gamble on losing the game if your Falconets end up dying first. You can just straight counter and then continue the game, and as the game goes on, you will outboom Spain, for the most part. It's questionable. But yeah, these are the variations. And then, also, I'm going to mention later in the video halberdier play. So this card is kind of memey, where your villagers turn into halberdiers. You can take that out, honestly. This is just kind of a meme deck. But there's the logistician allows you to for 900 food, you get veteran halberdiers in H2, and this card is really great. It gives you 20% movement speed on your halbs, and they just become shock infantry almost. But again, this is going to be the deck I'll showcase. And so now we're just going to go into a game against the AI and play, and later I'll showcase an actual 1v1 game. But it's just easier for me to talk about what I'm doing when I'm not under pressure. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the bison under the TC, split my villagers evenly onto food, wood, and gold, get my first villager in the queue, and then just start exploring with the envoy. The envoy is really great, and just that extra scout. Then we're going to put 3 vills onto gold, and there we go. I'm going to build a house, and then start queuing up my other villagers. So I know a lot of guides, normally people don't pick up treasures just to show you the timing, but I want to show you what it's like in-game when you get treasures for your age up time, because otherwise you can be pretty late. You want to prioritize either XP, and if you can find gold treasures, that's great, because then it takes your villagers off of the mine. So you just want 3, and then once you get 12 vills, you're going to pull them off the mine, and then go from there and just gather food. So I'm just going to try and herd these bison and under the TC. And yeah, so normally I would be going for a lot of treasures just to get XP, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to worry about what's happening under the TC. Now, we're almost at the 100 gold mark. The nice thing is your villagers gather at 0.69, so they're 15% faster at gathering gold. That's like the Civ bonus for the Dutch. And we're perfect macro. Oh, just one over. Okay. Okay, now we're just gonna wait, and once we get our 3 vill shipment in, we should be good to go. Coming in, things are looking decent. What's going on? Where are these shots? Oh. Well, might as well steal that. And so we're getting close to our mark for aging up, as you can see. And we're going to age up with the Quartermaster. Now, this is very standard. Sometimes, if you want to do a Halberdier rush, you can go with the Logistician. I don't really recommend that, honestly, though. I think it's a bit too grave of a toll on your economy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have villagers start gathering wood. You're going to want to split your macro so that you have 9 on wood and then 6 on food. I'm also going to send out a vill to start herding in. Our herds are pretty terrible right now, to be quite honest. But you want to make sure you get herds, and you only need like 1 or 2, so we'll just keep that one there. And then once we get this one, we're good to go. And you're going to want to... This will help you achieve getting a bank in H1. And now, something important to note, now I'm going to pull some vills off. I'm going to pull 3 off. Once you pass the A in exploration, you want to put 3 vills back on coin so that you can get your first villager in the queue. Even 4, I think, is good. And then since we're a bit over on food and under on wood, we're going to split again on our macro. Just remember, keep herding. It's very important, especially because many players will rush the Dutch. And the last thing you want to do is run out of food under your TC, because you will suffer. Oh my goodness. And so now, I'm going to take these 3 vills and build a bank. Some players like to put the banks on the back of their base. It really depends on the matchup. I personally like to have them go up as like a wall, because you're going to be... I mean, the banks get 4,000 HP, they're very tanky, and, you know, they're just good at helping you kind of create this barrier, and you can have a nice pocket for your skirmishers to sit in. So now I'm also going to build a Rax, and then after this, we're going to get this herd in as well. Train another villager. Now, you can either send a bank or 700 wood first. I like to send the 700 wood because it will help you get a market up and more banks as well. So we're just going to get this herd in. I'm going to build a house. And since we're sending 700 wood, we're going to have these guys go over and start to gather these crates. So now we're looking pretty decent. Our herds are looking decent. Normally at this point we're at the 5-minute 30 mark. We're going to get our third bank up, or our second bank up, and then we're going to... we're also going to queue up a skirmisher. Now, if you're queuing up a skirm, you're going to want to put more villagers on coin. Now, don't be afraid to gather coin as the Dutch. I know sometimes newer players, what they'll do is literally just have no vills on coin, and they will subsequently just kind of let their banks do the work. But you're a gold-heavy civ, you're going to need to do it, as you can see. So now I'm also going to put a market as part of the wall. And then we're going to put another house here. So you kind of want to make a nice little square. Bad batch of skirms, unfortunately. Got my macro a little bit off there, but as you can see, we're starting to get our banks up. We're going to get hunting dogs, and the most important tech for every Dutch player are your greatcoats. Honestly, any civ you're playing, just get your greatcoats. It's 75 food. It is a life-saving kind of tech. So now we're going to put up our fourth bank. Now, normally under pressure, you might need to ship 8 pikes. If you're under pressure, ship 700 wood. Oh, not that. And then 8 pikes. Now, I'm going to go greedy in this kind of order. And so we've got 5 skirms. We also have the Levy Minutemen, which are really nice. And the thing is about the base design is that your opponents are going to have to walk around your base. So it's really kind of hard for anybody who's like pushing in. They see this wall. They have to get funneled into these nice little chokes that we've made here. And it's why Dutch, excluding Malta, are the kings of defending, because you just have this pocket. And another thing you can do too is build some like cheeky walls, for example. Now with this, you can be standing up here, or if they push in, you just have a gate, and then all of a sudden, they're even more stuck in your base. So we're just going to build some walls and pretend that we're under some serious pressure. Getting a little too much gold, so we're going to start getting more food, and you want to consider aging up around this time as well. Now, you don't have to get all 5 banks down. It's honestly really important that you do age. So now, for example, if we're getting pushed, right, and they funnel through here, our skirms are here, they can't get touched. If we're on this side and they come over here, we just push in, our skirms can't get touched. Walls are really important, and they honestly, no matter what civ you are, can make the difference in a game. So we're just going to start putting everybody onto food. Even consider getting our steel traps since we have a bunch of gold. And, you know, just continue herding. Again, you don't need too many herds. We have 1, 2, 3, and we've got plenty of food for our next age. And so, once this villager comes out, we're going to age up very fast. You want to age up quickly because you want to make sure that you get your most powerful age 3 shipments in. So, this period, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put down a stable, I'm going to put down a house, and then I'm going to get my other techs in. And then I'm also going to consider getting another bank. So what I'm going to do is put more villagers on wood. This transition period is important because a lot of times you'll run out of wood. You'll get housed. You'll consider getting your upgrades for if you open with husks and whatnot. So I'm going to save this shipment. You can either go 600 wood or 4 vills. Really depends on the matchup. In this case, went with the market and got my market text up. And so I shipped 600 wood. And now I'm going to first thing ship 9 Reuters. And, you know, just keep queuing skirms. Really only need 1 barracks and 1 stable for the time being. So we're just going to go here. Keep getting villagers. Our macro's looking pretty decent. Maybe get some more on wood. And that's pretty much it. From there, go with the flow of the game. Use your envoy, scout. Use your explorer to scout. And you just want to build a nice pocket and mass skirms. And the longer you're able to boom and get your banks up, keep creating Reuters, keep creating skirmishers. And at the same time, if you have the res, build a bank. And you're going to want to always build a bank with 3 villagers. So you get a nice XP bounty of 140. As you can see, in the early game, that's a really nice rework / buff that the devs gave, because before they, you know, the XP wasn't that great. So we're just going to want to make sure that we keep our population up. And yeah, from here you can consider, once this house goes up, we'll look at our shipments and evaluate. So you can either send 1k wood, a fort, husks to raid, or skirmishers, depending on the matchup. And then later in the game, once you've exhausted some of these shipments, I like to go with the advanced arsenal and religious freedom to really help improve my army and economy. And that's it for the review. I hope you enjoyed. We've got 33 units, a good composition of Reuters and skirmishers. And the nice thing about the Dutch is that your skirmishers shadow tech. So as soon as you hit the second age into the third, your skirms get upgraded. Feel free to raid with Reuters. They pocket up really tightly and can do damage to the enemy's economy. So thanks for watching. And I'm going to show you next a live game where we get into it. Thanks.